So I'll tell you this: you never really know how much your kids step on your feet until you break a toe.
Oh,
The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. My name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and apparently a broken toe.
wow. Okay, I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. My name's Jeff. I have all my toes. I don't know.
And I broke it kicking a high chair is the worst part too.
Oh,
Middle
okay.
toe just smoked it, and then as best I could tell, my kids were doing their Riverdance impression for the rest of the night as we're putting them in bed, and just every chance they had stomping on the damn thing. Like I couldn't, like I was in so much pain, and it's like, do you normally step on me this much and I'm just oblivious to it,
Right.
or are you? This is just how it goes. Like, what do you honestly step on myself this much? Or do you just wait till I'm in pain?
It's just your
Awful.
weak point. It's like in video games, you're flashing. It's like their weak point. It's been discovered. They know when to hit it.
Oh, that's where we attack. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so welcome to this week. The announcement of the century, the gaming news, which took everybody by surprise.
Right.
The announcement of No Man's Sky VR for PSVR. The task that no one thought possible, the task that everybody dreamed of happening, but everybody was quick to dismiss. Like all over the Reddit, it's like, man, I would absolutely love it, but look, like there's no way. The game kind of chugs along as it is. Let's be reasonable. And then they kind of tease No Man's Sky Beyond, the next chapter, the next free chapter of the game. It should be mentioned too, the free DLC, and it introduces PSVR. Like it. Absolutely stunning. Like, what did you think when you saw that?
When I saw it, I immediately ran to my computer and said, Trevor, your dreams have come true.
That's
Everything
right.
you've ever wanted.
You are the one. You are the one that told me of it. Like, you are the direct source of news. I hadn't heard of it before.
Yeah, it's man. I don't know. This is pretty amazing stuff. Again, post support for this game has been beyond redeeming at this point, because it did launch to a whole bunch of problems and people had issues with it, but now look where we are. We're in VR space, endless amounts of planets and exploration in VR.
Yeah, like the most complete space experience. It's everything I can tell. So you're going to be in the cockpit. I'm a little ambivalent whether it's you can actually grab things with like the move controllers. The way that they were.
Oh right, yeah.
And I think they might be playing it safe because the way they were showing the gun kind of looked like how you would move the stick.
Yeah.
And same with there's two hands, and he actually grabbed the handles of the ship to steer it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that's how that plans out. But there's also the ships, or rather the vehicles on the ground. Like there's a new cockpit mode, so you can experience that in VR, jumping around, space everything. It's just the entirety in VR. Like stunning, unbelievable that such a game could exist in VR. Yeah. Our first, I think, anything that has this type of universe by far. Like we had some really cool experiences, like what's that great space one that got us hooked initially?
Eve Valkyrie is the one that got me. Yeah. I had to buy that one. And man, if it's like a shred of what that is, I love it. And that one used a controller. I didn't need a move controller or anything. So, if they, lean off on the controller bit, that's fine. I want my space VR sim. I can look around my ship, customize ships. It changes around me. That would be amazing. That's great. I love it.
Well, think of the extra depth added to it, right? So you'll start out on a planet, and you'll look up into the sky and see a fleet of ships. Hop into your spaceship, fly to that very fleet. They'll be getting attacked by pirates. Now you're zipping around a fleet of like 20 ships trying to take them down.
Yeah, man.
Afterwards, like you actually get into that freighter, walk up to the captain, maybe like purchase the ship, and then jump off to like 6 other galaxies and find 30 different worlds you can explore. Like the size is, I think it's safe to say, it is by far the largest experience you can now have in VR.
The only other one I can think of is Skyrim, and that's just because you can get easily side quested. This one is like entire galaxies and planets at your fingertips. And like you said, like to fly through the stars and asteroid belts with them whizzing by you and like in a cockpit is nuts. I love the sci-fi space sims. So if we can get in VR and have that done, and this isn't like a VR mode where you can, view planets in VR, but nothing else. But it seems legit.
In VR. Yeah.
They would never be caught lying again. I think they learned the lesson the first time. So this is great stuff. I am pumped, and I haven't been back in it for a while. So this, I think, will drive me more towards it.
So that was kind of my next. That honestly was my next question, because the thing I was wondering about was if the one thing I noticed immediately online is everybody with especially in the PSVR subreddit, like upon this announcement, they were running to GameStops everywhere and picking up these like $10 copies of No Man's Sky, which now includes like what must be 30 gigs worth of updates, and having I think this will be the fourth free update. So for $10,
that's what I mean. Like, it's not even I would get a secondhand copy because it's still $80 online PSN here. But I remember picking up mine for $20 when the first big update came out, and I got it from some guy who was selling it. It was like a guy. Facebook Marketplace thing. I don't know. He was probably like 16 years old or whatever. And I got it from him, and now it's like paid its weight in gold kind of thing. Like it never stops giving. It's great.
Yeah. I think they have to charge for the next DLC, right?
I would hope. I'm not hoping that they would, but something to keep them afloat. I don't know how they're still going. So
it's not like hope. Like I love free stuff too, but I can't feel bad if the next one costs $10. Like I would be very inclined to purchase it. Like I would want to.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'll say like this announcement definitely like I jump back in my ship immediately, like upon hearing this, because I still haven't beat it. I haven't beat the game proper yet, right?
Yeah, like, I don't know where they go from here. Like I have not. No, I have. Okay. I stopped shortly, I think, after we played a game together. So I'm still like base stuff. I think I actually tried to construct a base and failed horribly. Yeah. But again, in VR, constructing my own base and living in it in VR, kind of like again, it's that indoor environment. You got the spaceship environment, the planet environments. Like, I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, farming, building, like the buildings, mining, subterranean. Like it has the
underwater.
The whole last thing was completely underwater, so it could be ocean planets. Like there's so many games included in this game now. That's all just in VR. It's like Job Simulator, except fully blown out space version.
Yeah, which congrats to them to like. Again, support this and get over the there must be some sort of technical hurdles with this. Like I can't imagine, like you said, it kind of is a little bit jittery on a base PS4 regular. So what magic are they doing to some of this stuff? It's just
like I imagine it'll be down, like it'll be down-resed a little bit, so it's not going to be completely the crispest thing in the world. Yeah, I'm down with that. Like I think some of the stuttering would certainly be odd in VR, like if you're moving your headset and that judders. Now if it's stuff like that kind of fills in whatever, that's just kind of gaming, not much of a big deal. I think
they have to though, right? Like Sony's like adamant on certain things, otherwise you'll get nausea like up the wazoo. If
that's right.
So I'm sure it'll be silky smooth, and that art style kind of lends itself to something that's kind of down-resed. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I'd say crank your rate down, make it super smooth.
Yeah.
Like seeing little speckles on the tree is not going to ruin my space dream. It's going to be
take away the bloom. Yeah, let's go. Let's give me my ship. We can meet online in VR. Trevor, this is amazing. We don't even have to be near each other. We can just meet up in space.
Oh, finally. we don't have to deal with all this meat space nonsense.
No.
But that is a great point. Do you think they're going to include multiplayer? Is that like is that a stretch? Like that sounds like a bit much. On top of everything else, also multiplayer? Like two VR guys stomping around?
I don't know. Like I don't know the back end of things. Like I imagine that universe would have to exist somehow if you're discovering planets. It is always online, right? Like you have to eventually check in, or no? I don't know if there's a
no. There's no offline. You can't I think there's some things with you can't register planets. Like you can't claim them.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, it's totally offline. Like I've played it at my parents' place, which is a desolate cottage next to a lake. Desolate is not
Gotcha.
the right word. But
Okay.
it is a remote cottage without internet connection. So, no, you can definitely do it off. Man, a full offline one too. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
well.
exciting. We're doing it. We're going to space. It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never have imagined it. I was holding. It's funny. I guess I'd almost held out more hope for Elite Dangerous than I did for No Man's Sky for some reason. Just because it seemed amongst like Elite Dangerous, it just feels tighter as an experience. There's like 7 things you can kind of do,
Right.
As opposed to Elite Dangerous, which is just No Man's Sky, which is
Everything.
yeah, like
And you can deform the land and all sorts of crazy stuff. Deform,
animal-
build,
yeah.
whatever.
animals. Like, oh, man, awesome.
So,
So yeah, you saw online just went absolutely nuts for it, and deservedly so. This developer, like this has to be one of the gaming stories of the, man, I'm trying to find the right timeline. I was about to say lifetime. It's like, okay, that's being that's a little bit of
it's-
hyperbole.
In recent memory, like I think the only other one
great
I
way
can
to
think
put it.
of
Great way
is
to
like
put
Final Fantasy 14 was a big redemption story where they completely blew up the world and redid it. But that was about 5-6 years ago now. So this is almost along those lines where they're completely redoing everything and grabbing people. Like people are running out to get it.
Yeah, I think that had to be the Gaming Dad tip of the week, is especially if you have a PSVR headset, is get to your nearest GameStop. They probably have like 5 copies. It's probably like $10.
Yeah.
Grab it.
Spend it now, yeah.
With all these updates, and especially if you have the PS, if you even if you don't like the game necessarily, like just so you could hop into the spaceship a little bit, I think it could be a showpiece. I think for anybody that comes over for your PSVR headset.
Oh,
It's
for
like
sure. And
hop in the
even
ship.
for kids to hop around in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Again, it's a good kid game just to kind of explore. There's not too much in it, so
Man.
go nuts on colorful
So-
planets.
So coming this summer, obviously like we're going to be all over this, so I can't wait to give some impressions. But
Yeah.
man, such a happy story.
Stay tuned. Yeah, take vacation. We're gonna hop in.
It's going to be new dads will be off for a few weeks, but
Yeah, that's right.
so we touched upon Elite Dangerous, and to tease it out a bit, you've had some sort of experience with Elite Dangerous. I'm really excited to talk about that, but we're going to
Yeah.
get to that in a little bit, because first we need to speak about the Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. So each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad and often their kids who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well. So this week's victory goes to Gaming Dad Manchild1116, who made his son leap for joy by leaping from one console generation to the next. So Jeff, why don't you walk us through the photo?
Okay, well, we have what looks like a brand new Switch with 2 essential games. We have Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, which I will completely recommend both those games for any adult, child, or man-child. And if this was a surprise gift to his kid, this is a great story and definitely a new dad gaming victory.
Yeah, that so I can remember, and I'd be curious to hear if you had the same type of story, but there's definitely times like my parents had bought me some consoles. I think the most notable one was a PS1, not mini, but it's when it's like the little white
slim
version.
thing. Yep.
Yeah, like, and that blew me away. Like I'll remember that forever. Like that was like just unbelievable that they had done that. So I was so excited for that. But the ability now, like us as gaming dads, to be able to understand how impactful buying a console is.
Yes.
And particular to this story, so this his kid had been enjoying an Xbox 360, which it's still a great console. Like it's very solid. Like it's a lot of fun, but to have that leap from an Xbox 360, and gaming dad buys it, walks in, gets to gift it to the son, and just seeing that, like, just sending him over the moon on it. Did you have a console experience from your parents?
Yeah, for my parents, it was the N64, Nintendo 64, Christmas Day. I unwrapped that thing, and
Nice.
I think I was playing Star Wars, Empire at War for like the next 2-3 weeks straight. It was amazing. It was something again I will like share with them. It was the highlight. I can remember it like yesterday. Me and my brother were ecstatic. They even got 2 controllers, so perfect. Like everything worked well, and having that highlight again, like you said. My kids, when they turn 5, it's kind of like a rite of passage. They get a 3DS. So when I gave it to my first son, you can see that kind of light up thing. Like you can automatically connect with that. So I've had that in both my kids. I love that feeling because it means something to them. It's that bonding experience too. Like they're kind of like you now. So this must have been over the moon for both of them just to see that reaction in both the kid and the father.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like giving a gift to yourself, like to be able to feel.
It really is.
Feel that kid's energy, to feel it. Well, besides obviously you get to play it, but I mean
That's
more
right,
like
right.
I
Go
mean
to
the
bed,
joy in the child, being able to elicit that. Like, man, fantastic! So absolutely deserving of the victory. So for being a modern dad with now a modern console for his young one, Manchild1116 has won this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Congratulations. If you'd like to be nominated or know somebody else deserving, please reach out to us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or our Facebook group, or our Instagram. Now, to the task at hand.
That's right.
It's a little game called Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
As far as like this gaming dad's concerned, an all-time great as far as space sim. Just absolutely adore it. So quiet and technical, and it's I dare say that it's almost boring in the most wonderful way, almost to the effect of like a farm simulator or trucking simulator, where there's just something about the realism of the mundane that just sucks you into the state of it. So I should also state I have failed at my Distant Worlds 2 expedition. I did not make it. I got sidetracked by a bunch of personal dad things, could not get back on track, and it was going to be like something like 4 hours straight to like possibly get to catch up, and it's just I can't do it. So
not gonna happen.
A valiant effort was made. Probably done. However, enough about me. This wasn't about. The reason we bring it up is because there was a sale on Elite Dangerous, and Jeff, if you could go ahead and take it from there. What happened?
So I went to my good friend Trevor. I'm like, listen, Trevor.
Good friend's a stretch, but okay.
You are an Elite Dangerous vet. You know how it works. It's on sale right now. What version should I buy? And you're like, base. You know, you get the base, get in there. But, you know, the added thing is you can get planets. It's extra $5-10. Why don't you, just consider that in the future. So I bought the package.
Yes.
I got both. It's all, I wanted the full thing. It's going to, happen from the start. So I go through all the training. I think I'm pretty good.
And it shoots it aside. It takes a sidewinder out into the galaxy.
I'm out in my like vast space, right? And I watched a video before because I read online that you're supposed to read up on this thing. It does not hold your hand very well. So I did my research. I did my homework. I'm like, I'm gonna buy a fuel scoop because I don't want to buy gas all the time. I want to scoop it off the sun. I want to go to the star. I want to scoop it. So Trevor, I fly. I'm like, let's try this out. Let's see if I can just fuel scoop in the first solar system. I can't remember what system it was. I go right up to that sun, and man, I cooked myself alive. Like there was warning lights going off all around me. I saw steam coming out of my ship console, and I couldn't get away. And then all of a sudden, just explosion. So. I flew too close to the sun, man. I just was it Hermes? What was that Greek god? It just got
Icarus
toasted. Icarus, just got toasted. So
that's like it's such a great experience too. What's great is like the sidewinder is free to replace.
Yeah.
So at least like it wasn't a big cost there, but like
no, but still, it was just defeating.
It's kind of the terror though, right? Because like it's been boring. It's been so quiet, and all of a sudden your ship is smoking, and there's alarms, There's
Yeah.
only so much you can do. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
There's no, I was like, I remember in training you can control all the energy, so you can shut off life support and all your weapons to gain more energy to boost stuff. So I'm like pressing all these things, trying to get the temperature down, and my ship's not going anywhere. And I'm pretty sure I was being sucked into the sun. So yeah, at least I wasn't carrying any cargo or anything or people. God forbid. It was just me out there, and
And Jeff the First met his bitter end inside the sun.
that's right.
But-
So
and
I'm
I
getting
know
better
about that,
though.
but-
Like I've learned.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So what's been the experience after? So obviously you had a interesting death experience with with the
Yeah.
sun and fuel scooping, but subsequently, like, what's been your impression of this game?
It's like you said, it's pretty much Zen. Like in space, you can't hear screams and no one can hear you scream. So you're out there on your own. The only thing I am worried right now, to be honest, is fuel, because I'm like whipping around stuff. I'm like, oh god, like I've heard stories about being stranded and getting fuel
Yeah.
rats or whoever to come out and help you. So I'm usually pretty aware of that. That's probably my only stressor, but it seems to be okay. And then the other thing is getting good, like landing on a orbital platform that's whipping around a planet. A little different. I haven't landed on a planet yet. I haven't tried that. We'll see the next episode if I smash myself
Yeah.
into a planet. But it's pretty cool. Like again, it's as chill as you want it to be. Like you can just hop around, not do anything, or take on like little missions, or go all out and start fights with people. But yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of like you make your own difficulty along the way. I will say that some parts are like a little bit confusing. You do have to read up on some things. I think I accepted a mission I can't get to. I can't get to the system like at all because my drive is too small. So I still have that on my board. There's no like fines or anything for not completing it. It's kind of like The Witcher, where I just accumulate all these little side quests. So it's all good. I think it's a pretty chill game. I do recommend it in like kind of like off peak game time.
Yeah, off peak. That's a great way to say it too, because it's just a great little space sim. I've described it a lot. I think one of the marquee moments of it that kind of well defines the game is when you're landing. Right? Like, what was your impression of it? So, like, walk me through one of your first landings when you come to a station and you have to land. Like,
so again, going through training, it's pretty cool that you do, because when you mentioned it, you approach a station, you have to call it in. You basically have to say, hey, look, I want to land, and give me a spot. And I'm like, oh man, really? Like you have to go through this whole like techno mumbo, but it is pretty cool. Like you call ahead, they're like, yeah, okay, landing pad, whatever, 6. I eventually come in for a landing, which does take a long time, but it's pretty easy to maneuver. Like it's 0G and stuff. You can, I don't know, hover and get it right. But when it grabs you and then like spins you around and then you're kind of like in the station and you can go further down and like customize your ship and stuff, I'm like, okay, this would be super cool in VR. I'm not going to mention VR because I'm like, it would blow my socks off. But even on a flat screen, like the detail of all that is pretty cool. Like even launching out of it, it like tilts you up and stuff, like, and fires you away. So it's just, everything has a response. And I think that's one of the reviews I read too, is everything you do has a audio or physical response to it. So like there's a lot of beeps and clicks going off, but it's like everything you're doing has that, which is neat. It like adds to that experience. So I'm all on board, at least for now, until we get into VR No Man's Sky. But maybe they exist at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah, I just wonder if you could. So, as best I understand it, it's an actual mapping, a relatively accurate map of our galaxy, of our actual galaxy. So these are like actual.
I've seen some stars there that I used to try to get with my telescope. So, I'm trying to go to Arcturus.
I was kind of curious about, like, if you could get your kid into this game, it'd be a bit of a hard sell against Fortnite as far as Twitch excitement, like. Super hyper popular. But I mean, if you could get a kid to enjoy this game, like firstly just like how calm it is, like that's kind of a nice change of pace, but then the fact that it's actual stars, like it's got some type of, I want to be careful, I don't want to say like science backing, but like there's some degree of realism that then portrays space exploration to like kind of excite them about it, right? So like if you can imagine getting your kid to play an hour of this space sim that's trying to recreate some of the realities, quote unquote, of space travel, as opposed to Fortnite. Like, could you possibly get your kid to play this game though? Forget the learning curve for a bit. Like,
Yeah.
Let's say they're a little older and they're able to handle it. Do you think like you could get them to play, like interest in it?
Yeah, I think my 8-year-old probably would. I was playing in front of them, and my 5-year-old wasn't having it. He wanted to play Knack, out of all things.
Yeah.
But my 8-year-old was kind of cool. He was into it, just because I think he's more into space and science as well. So that kind of like hits the right mark in terms of what he likes. And he was even pointing out there's that 3D system map, which then you realize not everything is on the same plane. It's like this one big bubble of space. So even him seeing that was kind of, I don't know, blew his mind a little bit, how things didn't exist on a, you look up and you see all the stars, but they're at different 3D distances. So I think I could get him into it if, he's with me, like my co-pilot kind of thing. He'd totally be down for that. So, and seeing a sun up close, like, again, I didn't crash into the star when I was with him, but having it light up your TV screen and having it like massive, like this is what it could look like to a little ship like you, it kind of puts it in perspective as well. So I think it's a really cool game to get into that is, a break from, action Fortnite.
I know with I don't know how it works on console. So I play it on PC personally. I don't know how it works on console with local multiplayer. I don't think it has it. Because
I don't think so.
Especially, so you couldn't do it with ships. Because I just mean like the one mode that they introduced was wings, and more specifically co-piloting. Okay. So on some of the bigger ships, you can bring on people to help you manage some of the things with your huge ship. You can also have them take over fighter ships. So if you're a huge ship, you can have these like little TIE fighter type things basically that you can then shove into. So it's either you yourself can jump in, okay, auto fight everybody. I'm going to jump into a tiny ship and like try to wreck somebody. Or you can have like somebody who's joined up to help steer your ship do that for you. So that's cool. Man, the father-kid potential of that, where it's just like the two of you are piloting this like massive vessel across like what is kind of like the known galaxy, getting into a little bit of fighting off some pirates, getting into some bounty hunting, like performing some like exploration missions. Like it could be pretty sweet. Although again, that take two consoles, two versions of the game. But
I thought you were gonna say 2 years of his life, just 2 years.
Heavy training, like talking courses and everything else. Like by far,
pilot school. Yeah,
man, that is stunning. I'm really excited that you got in. I still recommend it for. Besides, unfortunately, the time sync is a little bit difficult with dad's schedules. But besides that,
it is a little bit. But again, for $10-20 and you're off flying in this huge galaxy that you can chill out to, once in a while.
It is dads in space this week, man.
That's right, man. I'm all for it.
But on that note, as we get ready to blast off for another week, we will thank everyone so much for listening. And this has been New Dad Gaming. So if you'd like to reach out to us with a question, a game tip, a dad story, or a Gaming Dad Victory submission, you can go to our website at newdadgaming.com or find us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. If you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any of the podcasting services. If you like the show, we would really appreciate a like, a review, and most importantly, a share, as we're trying to reach as many space dads as possible. Until next time, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and some PSVR No Man's Sky dreaming.
And I'm Star-Lord, Jeff. And I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
All right, well, we'll see you next week.
See you.